Hello, and welcome to the Once Again podcast. We are your hosts, Ashley and Jason. On today's episode, we'll be discussing the final 3 episodes of season 1 of Loki. So, Ashley, we made a few predictions in our last episode.
And we were completely wrong.
Well, we got 1 or 2 things correct. I didn't re-listen to the episode recently, but the main thing that we got absolutely wrong was we said, oh yeah, all of this is taking place in one of their heads. It's not really happening.
I think the Kang thing was too obvious, and the way the show was going, we were like, okay, it's just not obvious. We're
diving right in.
This is spoilers, man. This is spoilers, man.
All right, I thought we might go in order of the episodes, but
no, we're just diving in. We're gonna jump around. I mean, what's the point?
Well, it's interesting. It was super obvious, but WandaVision was also super obvious that it was going to be Agatha. So, it kind of kept in with that. But do you know Nando V Movies? He's a YouTuber.
I do not.
Okay, he also has a podcast called I can't remember the name of it right now. Nitpicking, mostly nitpicking. I listen to his podcast and I watch him on YouTube. He's very good. Nando, have us on if you're listening. But it's a shameless plug, or promotion, whatever. I don't know. But he had a video after episode 4 came out, I think, about how it was going to be Kang, but not Kang at the same time. And he dove into Kang's background in the comics and how there's multiple versions of Kang. And that's what we got. We got I can't remember his name in the comics. It's something Richards. I had said that he was related to Tony Stark. He's actually related to Reed Richards, I guess, somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
He's a descendant of Reed Richards. I forget his first name. But
I forget now too, but it's a variant of him. Yeah.
And there's all these different versions of them. And some of them are good guys that are trying to stop the bad Kangs, but most of them are bad Kangs. And then there is Kang himself properly, and he's a big bad guy. So that is what we got. We got a version of Kang, and he's never named, which was something that Nando also talked about in his video, because he said the actor that's playing Kang said that he would premiere as Kang in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, or whatever the name of the movie is called. So he was like, oh, the as Kang thing, like he's going to be a different version. And I was like, yeah, Nando got this right. So
yeah, still the same character-ish. So it's not like we have a proper name to go off of. So
no,
that's pretty much it.
What did they call him? He Who Remains, or something?
Yeah, He Who Remains.
Yeah.
Voldemort vibes there.
Yeah, a little bit. Also, still Doctor Who vibes. I actually looked up to see if anyone who worked on the show worked on Doctor Who, and no, but the showrunner worked on Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
So.
I can see that. I can easily see that.
Oh yeah, multiverse time, all that different stuff. But yeah, no one, a lot of the people, it was actually like the writers and everything, it was their first show. Like they had 1 or 2 other credits for little things, but this was like their first show that they ever did. But yeah, it was really good. It kind of, since we jumped right to the end, I was a little disappointed until I saw at the very end Loki will return in season 2. Because I was like, oh, it ends on like a cliffhanger almost.
I also feel like it was such a short thing. Like we could have just had 2 or 3 more episodes and wrap this up in a nice bow and walk away from this. I mean, I understand that they're trying to set off phase 2 or whatever of the MCU, and they're trying to. I get what they're trying to do. I understand what's going on here, but I feel like the end kind of was like, okay, well, this is it. All right.
Well, there's 2 things that I want to say about that. One, I feel like The Mandalorian between season 1 and 2 had a very quick turnaround. And 2, Tom Hiddleston was being interviewed somewhere, and he talked about how on his 40th birthday, he was dressed up as Loki. And evidently he turned 40 only like 2 or 3 months ago or something like that at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
But people did the math and they were like, oh, he must be showing up in this movie or that. Maybe he was dressed up as Loki for season 2.
Season 2, yeah.
Like they're already shooting it.
That would make sense.
So who knows? Yeah, who knows how quickly they'll get that out.
You are right though. Mandalorian had a very quick turnaround.
Yeah.
And I think it's the only live action they've had that has a season 2, so that's kind of all we have to go off of too in terms of Disney Plus original content.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about the Mighty Ducks TV show or High School
Musical.
Musical.
High School Musical the musical has also had
the television show,
but High School Musical the musical,
the television show.
yeah.
It's got
whatever they call that thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have not watched that, but
yeah, no, me neither. I've never even watched any of the High School Musical movies. So
how dare you?
well, I was too old for them. They were past my time.
To be fair, I've only seen the first one. That was like the only one within my age range. Everything else, when people are like, "Oh, but he's so good," and
yeah,
I'm like, I did not watch 2 and 3. Why would I?
No, I know who Zac Efron is, and the girl
Vanessa Hudgens.
Thank you. And then there's Sharpay.
Ashley Tisdale.
Is that her character's name?
Yes, Sharpay.
Okay,
yes.
All right. And then there's the blonde boy that's her brother.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I see memes. I get it. I'm with it. I'm hip.
You're hip with the kids.
Yeah. Zoomers. I speak your language. Yeet and sheesh.
We did just recently go back to college, both of us. I feel like we're in the know enough, like just a smidgen enough to be like, understand. But back to Loki.
Yes, back to Loki. Sorry, that was a variant of us that went off on a tangent. So yeah, Loki ends up back at the TVA in the end, and Mobius doesn't recognize him. He asks him like who he is and stuff like that, and he sees a giant statue of Kang. So the TVA has already changed in the time period, whatever time it took for Loki to get back there.
Is it changed, or is it just a completely different TVA? Like now that is there multiple TVAs now?
Most likely.
Like, is our Mobius somewhere else in a different TVA that Loki didn't get sent to?
Yeah, you could be absolutely
because
right.
Because Sylvie did just kind of like make a thing, push him through, call it a day. Like it was very quick. Like, did she know that she was sending him to it? Like, was it already diverging enough that she sent it to him to a different TVA?
Yeah, it could have even been her original, because it's very confusing how it works, time, space, all that. So she might have even been sending him back to the original TVA, but because all those branches were branching off of the timeline, he could have ended up in a different TVA, like you said. So who knows? And she's in that location. She killed Kang and took his little cool watch thing, whatever that was. I don't know.
Guess we'll see. I mean, I assume we would see her in a season 2. I don't think we'll see her in any other MCU related things currently, but
I don't know. I'd be interested. I think she'll pop up in something. Who knows? But yeah, this seems like it's going to be, well, not that it's going to be, that it directly did have an effect on the next Doctor Strange movie and the next Spider-Man movie, because they're both dealing with multiverse things. Did you enjoy the last 3 episodes? Or
oh yeah, I mean, how could you not love everything about it? I mean, Florida Loki, Alligator Loki, whatever we want to call him. I love him.
I didn't Florida Loki. I didn't hear anyone call him that yet.
Really? I saw a lot of people calling him Florida Loki.
That's good. But you know, it was something that popped up in the one episode that not a lot of people are, well, maybe not a lot, but I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it, was Frog Thor popped up.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere, maybe it was just on Twitter, so it might be wrong, but they reused in the first Avengers movie, Chris Hemsworth's Thor is trapped in this box, essentially.
The box.
And when he's tumbling around in it, they reuse that same audio of him like going for the frog, like trying to escape and like bouncing off the glass. I was like,
I saw that too.
Cute. Yeah.
I feel like I saw a couple of TikToks talking about that, but otherwise you're correct. It kind of just went unnoticed. But it was a kind of glimpse into like blink and you miss.
Yeah. Very much.
Thor frog sitting there. Like,
yeah. Obviously, this opens up the door for them to do pretty much anything. They could recast characters, bring characters back who are dead, whether they want to get the same actor, new actors. I mean, it's going to be the multiverse, so who knows what they're going to, all the different variants, you know.
Yeah, it definitely opens up, which I think will be interesting. I'm curious. I still don't know how we get to a season 2 or what a season 2 necessarily would entail, given I guess it would depend on how soon season 2 would be, because
yeah, I still haven't seen Black Widow. A small part of me was nervous that something was going to happen in that affected the show, because did you ever watch Agents of Shield?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so when Captain America Civil War came, no, not Captain America the Winter Soldier came out, and it was revealed that Hydra had infiltrated Shield for all these years, and
Yeah.
that affected the TV show.
Yeah.
And with Black Widow and Loki coming out at the same time, I thought, oh no, maybe something's going to happen. That's spoiler.
I mean, I'd almost like it to be true, because I did think they did a good job of having the movie and Agents of Shield kind of collide like that together. But
and both shows had Sif cameos at certain points.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so it's nice to see her again, because we never really found out what happened to movie version of her. She just kind of disappeared.
Yeeted off the planet, apparently, somewhere.
I guess that would be interesting, because obviously, maybe, I don't know, maybe Loki will go to he'll travel throughout the multiverse, go see different versions of Asgard that aren't destroyed or anything. And you could recast with like a younger Odin.
Would be interesting. I'd be, especially, I'm not the biggest fan of the Avengers anyway, so I'm curious to just, I'm like, blow it up, do whatever you want, make it interesting. Maybe I'll actually like tune in and be like, these movies that I don't usually, for the listeners, I've only seen enough of the MCU, but like I do not watch them of my own volition.
99%. Well, that's unfair to say, but a lot of them are the same movie. Now I enjoy them. Like every time a movie comes out, I remember when Doctor Strange came out, everyone was like, oh, it's just Iron Man, but with magic. And I was like, yeah, but I liked the first Iron Man movie. So like, that was fine.
See, I liked Doctor Strange. I wasn't like super into Iron Man.
Well, and when Captain Marvel came out, people said, oh, it's just Iron Man 1, but with Captain Marvel. And I was like, yeah, but I liked Iron Man.
Well, that's every origin story. Yeah. Like, it's hard to make origin stories not origin stories.
Right.
It's kind of like when we've had so many Spider-Man origin stories at this point. Like,
and that was
a lot.
That was the cool thing about the MCU when they introduced Spider-Man. It was like, you've seen it 100 times. Here he is. Like, you don't need Uncle Ben. You don't need, great power and all that. He's just going to show up in Civil War, and you know who the character is. Hopefully, if DC gets their act together, that's how the next Batman movie will be. Because if I have to see the Waynes murdered one more time for no reason, at least
we get it.
Yeah, at least when they killed them the last time in the Zack Snyder movie, there were plans to have a Flashpoint movie where Thomas Wayne is Batman and Martha, like in that storyline, Bruce gets killed instead of the parents.
Yeah.
And Thomas Wayne becomes Batman and Martha Wayne becomes the Joker. So at least at that point, when they cast Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and I forget the actress's name, but she's from The Walking Dead, when they cast them as Thomas and Martha, it was like, oh, okay, they're casting them because then they're going to use them in a later movie. But with the mess that DC is and how Warner Brothers Studio is not making movies like that, it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Yeah. I feel like we didn't talk about the 4th episode very much, but I also feel like
well, we gotta cover the Lokis. We gotta cover a lot of stuff. Do you want to move backwards then, since time's irrelevant?
We might as well. Yeah, right. Time is irrelevant.
Yeah, I really love right before Loki and Sylvie fight, the line where he says to her, "You can't trust anyone, and I'm untrustworthy." Like when he's trying to like appeal to it, like I was just like, oh, like what a great line. Like that to me felt like the Vision, what is grief but love persisting. Yeah, I was like,
I've actually seen a few people say that. So
yeah, that was the line to me that was like, yep, there it is. But moving backwards, I guess we could cover the Lokis.
All the Lokis.
Yeah. So first off, bold prediction that I don't think I'm going to get wrong. We talked about this off camera, but Richard E. Grant Loki / classic Loki, totally not dead, faked his death again.
100%.
Yeah, he like literally in that episode, he says how good he was at faking his death, that he fooled Thanos. And the reason he became a variant was because he got lonely and wanted to see his family again or whatever it was.
Yeah, but he was like on a planet just chilling out.
Yeah, by himself. And then he got lonely. I'm assuming he wanted to go see Thor again. But which with Richard, like imagine who they would cast as his Thor. It would be like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that, because it's got to be about the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally fakes his death in that. It's a badass scene. You know, he rebuilds Asgard and everything, and
it is really cool. I don't think we'll get. I mean, I don't think we'll see them in a movie. I think season 2 of Loki is where we'll likely see all the other Loki variants kind of pop up.
Yeah, I can't even imagine they've got to have like a spider's web board of everything that's going to happen at the MCU going forward.
Oh, like I can't, with all the different multiverses, it's got to be like, okay, this needs to connect to here.
Yeah.
That over there. Okay.
And it's interesting too that neither Falcon and the Winter Soldier or WandaVision got season, or at least as of now, have been announced season 2s, but Loki is getting a season 2. So they must have some plans for it. Or it's just,
I think if the other two were going to get season 2s, I think we would have already known about that. I think the reason we're not is probably because those stories are kind of summed up nicely. They're done. They don't need to tell another story.
It could also just be actor availability. Maybe Tom Hiddleston really loves playing Loki more than the other actors. Like they're not that they don't enjoy their characters. I'm sure, you know, it made them all household names and paychecks and everything, but he seems to really enjoy it.
What has Tom Hiddleston been doing besides this? I need to ask. I can't think of anything.
Commercials for Lincoln, I think it is. Or maybe it was No, it's Jaguar, because he says it the British way, which is like Jaguar or whatever.
Jaguar.
They don't say Jaguar, they say Jaguar. And that was actually the first time I ever saw him with his natural hair color, because he's naturally blonde. And women have always said to me how handsome he is, and I've only ever seen him as this slimy Loki character. And I was like, what are they talking about? And then I saw this commercial. I was like, oh, he is a very pretty man. Like, they're not lying.
What? I saw why? Why would we do that?
Yeah. Well, some of the same women that said how handsome Tom Hiddleston is to me also told me how handsome Matt Smith is. And I was like, no.
He's okay.
All right, I won't body shame. But Matt Smith is no David Tennant. Well, I'll just put it that way. I'm sorry, Doctor Who. It brings up the Doctor Who vibes in me. But yeah, so moving backwards, we have, what do you want to say, 4 main other Loki variants that he befriends, sort of. There's classic,
all the rest of them kind of just show up at that one scene. But
classic Loki, Kid Loki. What is it? Boastful Loki?
Yeah, like boastful, warlord type Loki is what I think of when I see him.
And then alligator Loki. Yes, obviously crowd favorite. He will show up everywhere as plushies, and he's the Baby Yoda.
There are no plushies yet, and I'm like, excuse me, Disney, did you not learn from Baby Yoda? We make plushies of cute things.
Yeah, my only hope is that he comes with the severed hand of President Loki. Which that scene completely got me, because I had said in our previous episode, like, oh yeah, we see President Loki at some point. Like, obviously Loki's going to run to be in charge of the TVA or something like that. No, you're just completely wrong, Jason. Just another variant, just also played by Tom Hiddleston. So they got me. Good job, Marvel.
Well, he has to play most of the variants, apparently.
Yeah. Well, and his army that he has with them, were all of them supposed to be Loki variants as well?
I think so. That's what I got out of that. That was literally like a bunch of Lokis. Like when they joke that Lokis don't die, Loki survive. There's these 50 Lokis fighting.
They're background Lokis. They fight each other and everything like that. And Mobius also survived the pruning process, because when you get pruned, you actually just go to the end of time. And he shows up in not a Volkswagen Beetle, but some little beat up car.
Yep.
So yeah, it was great to see Owen Wilson again.
I'm sure we'll see him a bunch, because I'm sure we'll get a bunch of variants of him as well. Yeah. Hopefully we get him on a jet ski. That's
all we're asking for.
We didn't get it here.
No.
Give that man a jet ski.
Agreed. It's interesting too, because you brought up that it might be a different TVA, and I hadn't considered that. But previous to that scene, I guess everyone at the TVA pretty much got their memories back somehow. Mobius and B-15 seem to have been unlocking people's memories.
Well, I mean, we saw that our B-15 had gone to show people like, no, this is Ravonna. Like this is not her.
Right.
Like she was showing people like, hey, we are variants.
Yeah.
And like who knows what Mobius did after Ravonna left. So
yeah.
I don't, and where did she go is a better question as well, because that's her like last scene. She disappears and
to find the truth or something, or find free will.
Find free will, and I don't know what that means. I don't know where she's going.
Well, I would argue that free will does not exist. Now, the common vernacular that people use it for, yes, what they're referring to is decisions, but absolute free will does not exist, because at some point you have to drink water or eat food or you will die. If you had absolute free will, you would not have to do those things.
Accurate.
Yeah. What else would you like to discuss?
I mean, we didn't talk about episode 4 a lot, but I can't remember a lot about episode like 4. And I mean, they were still on the planet, and we were convinced in our last recording of this that it was fictional.
Yeah.
Which was not the case.
Well, they Loki and Sylvie almost quit. They almost kiss, and it causes a fluctuation. Despite being in an apocalypse, it causes a fluctuation that the TVA can see. And so they go and rescue them. And then they're taken to the timekeepers, and it's revealed that the timekeepers are robots, animatronic robots, like Disney World robots.
And then everybody gets pruned pretty much.
Yeah. When Owen Wilson got pruned, I was like, oh, but I was like, oh, of course they cast like a big actor, like a big name, so that you don't see it coming. Like they're not going to kill this guy off. But then Loki got pruned.
That's exactly when they're going to kill.
Yeah. Then Loki got pruned I was like, what? But
we
then
still have 2 more episodes. Yeah, he can't be gone yet.
I luckily stayed behind and watched the post-credits scene that episode had. I know a lot of people didn't, and I was like, oh yeah, he wakes up on a planet and there's like 4 other Loki, or I actually said 3 other Lokis because I didn't notice alligator Loki. I was too busy laughing at comic book accurate / classic Loki. Like I was like, oh my god, they did it. Which I have to say, that costume 100% comic book accurate. And I know this is a different series, but Falcon and Winter Soldier, when Sam shows up in his Captain America costume, also 100% comic book accurate, as equally as stupid. Like for years, I've been like, oh, they changed the costumes. I'd like to see just one of the costumes that's comic book accurate up on there. And when Sam showed up in his 100% comic book accurate Captain America costume, I was like, oh, that looks awful. Like they should have made the white a little bit darker. Like they made it bleach white. And I was like, oh, if it was like a grayish white, that would have looked better. But no, I
feel like
white.
That's what they're looking to do, though. They want it to be kind of campy when they do that, a little bit.
Maybe. I was going off on a tangent, a variant, if you will. So yeah, that's how episode 4 ended, was Loki also getting pruned. And then episode 5 took place at the end of time, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And we meet Alioth. And he's evidently works with Kang in the comics. He's a creature from the comics. And what he does is go around and just destroys everything. Like he sucks things up, and that's the end of them. I thought although they own Fox now, so there wouldn't be an issue. But for me, it gave me Galactus vibes. Galactus is a character from the comics that eats planets. But when they put him in whatever Fantastic Four movie it was that he was in, he was just this big gray cloud monster that was there to eat the earth. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of cool. He was kind of had a dog-shaped face sometimes.
Yeah, I did like all the visuals for those last 2 episodes, like the end time
and Sylvie enchants him, and that allows them to see behind him pretty much, or see through him, whatever it is. And that's where they see this mansion, castle sort of thing. And that's where not Kang is. Miss Minutes popped up again.
Yeah.
And she's
very creepily. She like.
Yeah. Well, that's I sent you that TikTok video. I didn't realize that was Tara Strong, and I should have.
I did not realize that either until I saw that today.
Yeah, I was like, oh, of course it is because it's a voice. Like, so of course it was Tara Strong.
Who else could it be?
Yeah, she shows up and very creepy, and they meet not Kang, and they fight him. Don't fight him. Listen to him talk. Don't listen to him talk.
It's just a lot of talk. This last episode was so much talking and not much action or anything happening. Just a lot of exposition, which I'm okay with. But at the same time, it's one of those episodes that didn't require me fully paying attention either. Yeah.
Well, that's even he's like not Kang says, listen, even if you kill me, I'm just gonna end up back here anyway. Like it doesn't matter. I don't know. How did you, whose side did you come down on? Like, should they have killed him or not have killed him? Or
I mean, I think the issue is till we know exactly where this is going, within it, should people have free will? Yes. Should they be pruning people? I mean, did I think starting a time war was a good idea? I think Sylvie reacted very quickly. I think they could have sat down and thought about it for an episode. If there was another episode and this was something that we were gonna come back around to doing, I don't think I was like, okay, sure, we're just gonna in the moment kill him and let the multiverse happen.
I saw this great, I think I saved it to my phone. I'll show it to you and describe it for those listening. Oh, I guess I didn't. Oh wait, I did. All right. So it's a meme of Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, and Jake Gyllenhaal all together at a Christmas party. It's been around for a while. But Ryan Reynolds is wearing an ugly Christmas sweater because Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal told them that they were supposed to wear ugly Christmas sweaters to the party, and no one else did. So the two of them are laughing, and Ryan Reynolds is just in the middle looking sad. And it has Hugh Jackman, and it says Loki messing with timelines and Loki. Jake Gyllenhaal says Wanda messing with reality and WandaVision. And then it has Ryan Reynolds and it says Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness. And, it's just, like Doctor Strange is going to be like,
why are you all doing stuff without asking me first?
Well, it's interesting because even in Avengers Endgame, the Ancient One, Doctor Strange's mentor, tells Bruce Banner they have to put the Infinity Stones back from where they get them, or it'll cause a variation in the timeline, and that'll lead to disaster. So the Ancient One somehow had some knowledge of
there being a singular timeline.
Yeah, and that if there are variations, it'll lead to a multi. We're
gonna get some weird fucking flashback, aren't we?
Possibly.
Flashback to the Ancient One talking to one of the Kane variants.
Yeah. It would make sense that they would know each other. Anything else you'd like to discuss about
I wanted to look up to make sure, but I was thinking about where did Ravonna Renslayer go? I mean, I wanted to check and make sure, but she does have a relationship with Kane.
Yeah, in the comics, she's his girlfriend.
So I assume that's where she went to go find whatever variant is hers in particular. Unless the variant that was hers was the one we just killed.
Yeah, possibly.
But I don't know if that's true either. I don't know if she knows. I don't know how much she knows as a character of all going on.
I forget who I saw who was talking about this, but it might have been Nando from Nando V Movies Have Us On. I can't remember. It was probably him though, but he said it seems that when she found out that the TVA was all variants, she didn't know either. But her reaction was different. Whereas Loki and Mobius wanted to bring down the TVA, she was like, well, no, let's find out what's really behind all that. I don't know. She could have been lying. Who knows? I'm sure they'll come up with something very clever that I'll get absolutely wrong for season 2.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see where she has disappeared off to.
Yeah.
Because I thought she was gonna show up at that end time and be like, what have you done?
Yeah.
But then we didn't see her again for the rest of the episode. So
get away from my boyfriend, you bitch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna find out that she knew all along what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that it was just her part to play in getting the Lokis there.
Yeah. I genuinely believed in Kang being like, listen, I'm old. I kind of want to die. Like I've been doing this for a long time.
As long as you two are in charge, I can get out of here.
Yeah. I kind of believed him when he said that. Yourself?
A little bit. I thought he was very convincing in that. I don't know if that was actually true or just him trying to get him on board.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him in Ant-Man and the Wasp and whatever they have him in going forward. What else would you like to discuss about the show?
Actually, I wanted to talk about that last scene with Miss Minutes too, and her showing up at the end there, because we talked about like, do we believe Variant Kane at the end there, but like Miss Minutes before they got there was trying to get them like out of there. She was like, hey, I could give you this whole new life together and you could be happy.
Yeah.
And we could give you that. Why was she trying to sell them on that if she's working with He Who Remains?
Yeah.
Because obviously she's trying to offer them something completely different than what he was trying to offer them.
Well, and that's interesting because he shows them the script of everything that they've said and that they're going to say. Like,
yes.
So he's showing that he knows what's going to happen. I don't know. I guess
like I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was Miss Minutes going off script from him and doing something.
Yeah, like, she's some sort of AI program. So
I mean, obviously, but like I don't get how she was talking about offering, like, was that just this is step one, offer this, see if they take it. They're not going to take it. We know they're not going to take it. So we're just gonna, I don't know. It was a very strange offer on her part. Also, he seemed kind of like, oh, she still calls me that, like,
oh yeah,
like, so do you two not talk as much as you would think? Like,
well, I kind of got the vibe that he doesn't talk to anyone pretty much. Even if,
agreed.
Yeah.
But then she does go back to Renslayer and he's like, he said to do this, and Renslayer was like, he who? And she's like, oh, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, is Miss Minutes double dipping here? Like, is she talking to somebody else that's not this variant, but a different variant?
Yeah, possibly. It's very possible. I wonder, I don't know. I wonder if them just arriving at, I guess them arriving at this
Citadel
mansion,
Castle or whatever it is.
Yeah, I guess them just arriving at it, like, already started to cause the timelines to branch out. And
well, everything. Yeah, that's what he said before they were even, like, before she even killed him. And he was told our Loki, well, he told Loki to like stop. So he was like, you got to be quick about it. The timeline's already diverging.
Yeah, but it's possible, like, it's possible that our Miss Minute went back to a different TVA, much like how Loki went back to a different TVA. A bunch of good questions, all for season 2, I suppose.
Whenever that happens.
Yeah, it would be a great. There's something that I've always wanted the Marvel movies to do, and it was when they were going to bring it, when they eventually do bring in the X-Men. What I want, and this is just my wish, is that we get a trailer for a movie. It's the Avengers versus whoever. You can make up some space alien coming, and that's all the trailers. You see everything like that, and you're there watching the movie, and you're like, oh, the whole movie was like the first 20 minutes of, or like the trailers were like the first 20 minutes of the movie. What's this movie about? And then like just Magneto shows up and just starts wrecking all the Avengers. Like he's like,
oh, that would be crazy.
Yeah, like, and like it's like, oh, like this is how we introduce Magneto. Like, and that's what the actual movie is about. So it'd be interesting if down the line they do something like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. They already said Wanda's going to be in it. Maybe they haven't said that Loki's going to be in it, but he does pop up. Like, because in Thor Ragnarok, it's shown that Doctor Strange at least knows some magic that Loki doesn't. I don't want to say that he's a superior. Well, I guess he is, because he's the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
Like, he just totally owns Loki in that movie. It's a hilarious scene, and it'd be interesting if Loki shows up in the next Doctor Strange movie seeking his help.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, there's someone I know who's also extremely powerful and could maybe help me with this. So
it makes sense.
Yeah. I would just like it if they showed the Doctor Strange trailers and then, oh, wait, surprise, a quarter of the way into the movie, it turns out Loki's in this as well, and it's not the movie you thought it was.
That would be nice.
Yeah, but I based off of WandaVision, I have a different idea of where that's going. There was a Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom comic book from I want to say the 70s, it might have been the 80s, called Triumph and Torment, where Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom go to hell to save Doctor Doom's mother's soul. And I kind of feel like, based off the way WandaVision ended with her hearing her children crying out to her, that's what Doctor Strange 2 will be about. He's going to help her save her children from hell or wherever they are. Or maybe a multiverse version of them that actually did exist. Who knows? Anything else we briefly talked about, what you wanted to talk about with Miss Minutes? Anything else you'd like to mention?
No, I think we got everything.
Okay, well, let me pull up my outro here because I don't have any actual notes about this. That concludes this week's bonus episode of the Once Again podcast. Thank you for joining us. Any questions, comments, or critiques can be addressed to either our email at onceagainpod@gmail.com or on Twitter at onceagainpod. If you are feeling generous and would like to contribute to the podcast, we have several tiers available on patreon.com/onceagainpod. Also, a like and a share would be greatly appreciated. Thank you and have a wonderful day.